Hi, hello. Welcome to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. It is wonderful to have you here. This is Monday Monk. I think 80, 67. Sorry, I had to clear something on the screen there. I think this is Monday Monk 67, and I want to say thank you very much for joining me here. I realize I'm getting this one up a little later today, but I have a story to tell you. So, usually I talk about writing, knitting, and what's going on in Monk World. This is going to be a very short Monday Monk because the Monk World thing took a lot of time, and I will make a short story of it for you. Basically, writing is still going well. I'm still on track for getting the Breaker books, Broken Magic books out. Why I keep calling them the Breaker books is because that was the original name I was going to call the series, which my editor at the time kiboshed. So they're now called the Broken Magic series. So sometimes I keep going back to that original series name. But yeah, the Shaman Tarek books will be coming out still, I hope, in June. Hopefully I'll have pre-orders up this week. We'll see if that happens. Knitting is going well. I'm making up the toy, which will be given away in my newsletter. Sign up for my newsletter down below. And that toy should be ready here pretty soon. I didn't get it done to show it today, but I will show it as soon as I get it finished so that you can see the toy that's being given away. Also, remember this little knit TV will be given away in this newsletter also. So that's just the quick updates. Now I'll tell you why this Monday Monk is so late. Well, I mean, it's still happening on Monday, but late Monday. So we were doing yard work. We decided to spend our long 3-day weekend doing yard work because it's a holiday here in the States. And so we started in my brother's yard, and he had my brother and sister-in-law's yard, and they have a huge cherry laurel hedge and some other stuff to be done. And so us traveling companions, the traveling rats, all got together and decided to do yard work, and we're going to go to each of our houses and do kind of the big projects that needed to be done. So there were chippers involved and chainsaws involved. And let me start off by saying everybody's fine. Everything's okay. But we were right at the end. We were on Sunday and had been working pretty steadily for the 3 days. In the heat, it's definitely a hot work. And working with small chainsaws. We have small electric chainsaws on sticks. And then my husband has a large chainsaw. It's a 20-inch blade. It's a still, and it's the kind of chainsaw that you use to take trees down. And he's been using chainsaws since he was about 16. So he's very familiar with them. He has cut trees down. He has topped trees. We have felled probably trees that we shouldn't admit that we've felled back in the past in our yard that probably now we would bring in a tree service to do, but like he has the skill to do it. So we were working just on hedge, on little branches, not even the big stuff. We'd already used the chainsaw on the big stuff, but we were down to like some small branches that were on the ground. And he was, instead of using the small chainsaw on the stick, which would have allowed more flexibility and mobility on which kind of cut to take on the smaller branches, he was using the big chainsaw. That was the mistake. So he hit his foot with the chainsaw. He cut his foot. I have brought his shoe to show you the damage. This is not gory, but it is a shoe that's a bit torn up. If you don't want to look at this, you can look away now. I'll give you a minute if you want to look away. Okay, if you're still watching this, let me show you the shoe. Here's his big old work shoe that he was using, and this is the cut in his shoe that the chainsaw did. This is not a steel-toed boot. Does my husband own steel-toed boots? Yes. Was he wearing them? No. We have learned some lessons that we're going to apply in any of our future yard work with chainsaw, which is have a safety checklist and make sure that we're following it all to a T. We had ear coverage, we had eye coverage, we had hand coverage. We weren't thinking about foot coverage, and we should have been. So we will be making lists before we do any of this stuff and making sure that we have all of our safety gear in place. But anyway, so this big giant cut in his shoe was also a cut in his foot. And so we spent several hours down at the emergency room getting checked out, getting his foot checked out by the doctor. And he was very, 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 very lucky. He did not hit the bone. He nicked the tendon, but did not hit the whole tendon. So he got out of it with stitches, and that's it. And I got to tell you, I was a little shocky getting him down to the hospital. My brother, thank heavens, came with us and was able to drive because I was starting to lose feeling in my hands. It doesn't always happen to me that I go into shock when somebody's injured, but I think we had been working so hard at such a pace that I just was out of reserves. And so my brother took over driving, which was wonderful. But my husband got out of it with just stitches. And now he has to kind of stay off of his foot. He can walk on his heel, but that's it. So he's down for a few weeks to get that all healed up. He gets to keep his toe. He didn't lose his toe. He didn't, like, there's no permanent damage. And he is dang lucky for that. So if you are a yard work person or somebody who has always done a physical activity and you feel like you've got it under control, you don't need to worry about safety gear, let me perhaps give you a little suggestion to go through your safety gear and make sure you have whatever you need with you when you're doing stuff outside. So anyway, yeah, everything is fine. It all turned out good. And I gotta say, the yard looks fantastic. Like we did a heck of a job. But there was that little drawback there at the end. What we would do differently next time, wear steel-toed boots and also use the small electric chainsaw on the smaller stuff, or the loppers. We were using loppers a lot and that worked good too. And that would have worked too. So yeah, so that's it. Now you know my story of how I spent the weekend. But everything is good. And that seems a little grim. I hope it's not too grim of a story to share with you. But I hope you've all had a good and safe weekend. And I will see you next Monday with hopefully some good news about some pre-order links for the Broken Magic series. And in the meantime, remember to sign up for my newsletter so that you might get in the running for one of my knit toys. Well, if you sign up, you are in the running for one of my knit toys. So sign up and maybe you'll end up with a toy in your mailbox. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.